Hello. Welcome back to my channel, Beauty and Bee Movies, with me, Pale Kale. We're going to be talking about the 1988 film Black Roses. You ever heard of it? I had not. I found this one like buried in Reddit. Somebody had commented and said, oh, this is one of my favorite Bee movies or something. So I was like, I'll give it a go. Went to good old Tubi, found it, and now we're going to talk about it today. This is a classic tale of teenagers in small town USA who are being corrupted by the devil's music. Rock and roll! Yeah. And by some goofy ass looking demons. We'll get into that. And also some heinous wigs. So buckle up, get seated, get ready for the interesting ride that is Black Roses. If you're curious to see how I did my makeup today, I will list all the comments down below in the description box. Kind of was going for just like, it's a little bit like, ooh, who is she? I can tell I'm really feeling my makeup when I look at myself in the mirror and go like, I just make weird noises at myself and I don't know why. It just makes me feel good. I look at myself and I'm like, ugh. Anyway, I like how this turned out. If you do too, and you want to buy something that I used on my face, it'll be listed down below. Without further ado, let's get into the movie review right now. Here's Black Roses. Let's talk about Black Roses. I even wore it, look, my shirt has it's not a black rose, it's a black shirt with a red rose, so. Right from the jump, we find out that the teenagers of Mill Basin are psyched because the metal band Black Roses are coming to town. And apparently they've never performed anywhere, which I thought was weird because I guess they were just like a studio band and they haven't had any live performances. I feel like this foundation in the monitor looks not the right color on me, but it really does match in person. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so anyway, so we meet our main man, Matthew. He is a high school teacher and he just like lives to terrorize this kid, Johnny. He just loves making a fool out of this minor in his class. He'll always call on him and no other kids for some reason. Any answer that Johnny gives, he's like making fun of him, talking down to him.
Johnny?
Evil?
Yeah, Johnny, Evil Knievel.
I feel like we've all had a teacher like that just like they just hate you and they're like, I want to fucking make an example out of you. So that's kind of their dynamic, their relationship throughout this movie. He loves to make a fool out of this minor, but I do have to acknowledge, does this kid look 17 to you? Does that look right to you? I feel like Johnny and Matthew look like they're the same age. Like they were in the same graduating class, you know, same bowling team. Like they look literally the same to me. I'm fairly certain that Johnny is actually like 37 years old. So casting was a choice. But isn't it always with 80s movies? I mean, the teenagers in the 80s, they look significantly older. I'm gonna blend out this foundation really quick just so I can kind of get to stepping. Yeah, this is a little dark for me. Oh gosh, yeah, this is a little dark. It's a little dark. Shit. It's okay, I can fix this. I can fix that. I'm a Virgo, I can fix this. So they're kind of talking about like poetry or whatever. This is, I think, English class. And Matthew, again, you know, he calls Johnny out in front of everybody. He's trying to like be funny and be like, ha ha ha, isn't he so stupid? Because he like wants to be cool with his students. Like, I feel like he tries to be like the cool teacher. Like he's wearing like a hoodie and jeans and he's like, hey kids, let's rap. Like, I'm one of you. And it's like, but you're not, Matthew. You're also 37 years old. So I guess maybe they are peers. Him and Johnny certainly look like it. And Johnny kind of goes off on this little tangent about how the Black Roses, this metal band, is coming to town and the geriatrics in town don't want them. They're like, no, rock and roll's the devil's music and like, we don't want them in our town. Like, we're gonna put a stop to this. And he's kind of talking about how they're really just like assuming they're evil without knowing anything about them.
That's what I think Whitman was talking about. They like evil and they like getting rid of evil.
Even though he makes like some fair points, Matthew just shoots him down and is like, that's not what's going on.
I don't think your parents want to stop the concert just to annoy you. It's just that they're afraid of change.
Because he has to feel intellectually superior to this kid and he wants to seem cool or something, I don't know. It's not super important. It just kind of sets up the fact that, you know, this new metal band is coming to town and the old people in town do not like it. They're like, this is not gonna fly here. They're scared of this new thing called metal music coming and corrupting their youngsters in their little okey pokey podunk town. I'm trying to lighten up this foundation because it is dork. I just don't remember it being so dark on me. I thought it was a really good color match, but now I'm like, shit, look at my hands next to it. That's okay. It's all right. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. This basically just opens us up to the plot of the film that the Black Roses are coming to town and, you know, trouble might be a-brewing. We meet Julie, who is one of Matthew's students. She's kind of like the good girl, you know, straight A's type of thing. It's implied. They don't really dive a ton into her character, but it's implied that she's kind of like a good kid, good head on her shoulders, doing well in school, all that stuff, right? She also appears to have a really weird relationship with Matthew, the teacher. I don't know, you can tell that she has a crush on him clearly, which, you know what, that's fine, because I had crushes on many of my male teachers growing up, and now I'm marrying a teacher, so that's kind of a pattern, You know, it's fine, like, she has a crush on him, whatever. I think that's pretty normal for kids to have crushes on their teachers, you know, whatever. But it's a weird relationship, and I'm gonna just leave it at that now because I want to get into the rest, and we'll circle back. We'll circle back. Gears are moving. Meanwhile, back at City Hall, all of the town elders are kind of bitching about like, we don't want them in our town. Get out of here. You know, they're pissed. I liked this scene. It was giving very like mom and pop, anti-big business, like drive slow in our residential neighborhoods. And oh my God, Nancy Reagan, I love your work.
And now we find that disciples of the devil are invading our town.
JK. I don't, but this woman looks like Nancy Reagan. It's Nancy Reagan. I'm gonna start powdering. This is a good part to mention. I just love the satanic panic vibes of this movie, like everybody being like, oh my God, rock and roll's gonna corrupt our youth. It was fun. That was actually kind of what drew me into it originally. I saw the posting about this one on Reddit and I was like, I kind of want to check that out because, you know, metal, horror, I'm into that. And then, you know, the whole reaction to rock and roll at this time, like, which is so funny because like it really mirrors the reaction to rock and roll in like the 50s, 60s when like the Beatles and Elvis and all those guys were coming around. I don't know. I feel like every generation hates the next generation's music. That's like a given. And you know what? Nothing makes me feel older than listening to fucking clicky beat boop music. Like, it's not called techno anymore. Dubstep or like whatever. I don't know. I feel like a boomer. I hate that shit. I'm sorry. You're never gonna catch me listening to the fucking like, I don't know, what is it? It's like, I feel like I sound like a duck, but it totally sounds like Donald Duck. That's what it sounds like to me though. It gives me those vibes. It's not music. It's not music, it's just noise. Okay, anyway, I gotta get into this. Nancy Reagan over here reads some of the Black Roses lyrics and gets all these little bumpkins fired up. They're like, get this guy out of here! But our mayor over here, he kind of calms everything down. He's kind of progressive, honestly. He makes a lot of the points that I just made, like...
Talking about music here, not revolution. Now this group, this Black Roses, I'll be the first to admit, some of their stuff's a little antisocial. But that's the very nature of rock and roll, isn't it? Trying to shake us up a little bit?
Fair points. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Rare that I think a politician makes a good point, but anyway. Mayor jumps in to explain what rock and roll is. So while the Helens and the Jerrys are all squawking down at City Hall talking about like how they hate the Black Roses without even knowing about their music, we get a little like, I don't want to say date, but a little outing with Julie, remember our like straight A student girl or whatever, and Johnny, her 37-year-old classmate. Johnny's very like, I hate this town. I can't wait to get out of here someday.
What's there to look forward to after graduation? Working for my father? Cutting friggin' hair for the rest of my life?
If Johnny was around in like the mid 2010s, he would have loved pop punk. He would have been listening to Real Friends. Like, yeah, I do have sleepy eyes and bony knees. He would have loved it. He would have lived for that shit. And that's no shade to Real Friends, but that's what their songs are. Also, that's no shade to anyone who listened to them in the 2010s because I did, and I could provide evidence, photographic evidence. But I won't. Johnny and Julie, they're kind of lamenting about their high school woes. I mean, it's more him than her. She's just kind of there. And he's complaining about how he thought the town was improving because they were finally getting like a good band there. So I don't know. It's very small town, like whiny, like...
High school is such a serious thing. These problems matter.
That's what it was giving. Very overdramatic. He's kind of complaining about his life. Johnny decides he wants to be scandalous. He wants to paint the town red. Literally. He gets a can of red paint and is like opening it and he's like,
I want to paint this town red.
what that means, I guess vandalism, but like what a slow vandalism process. Like what is he, Banksy? I'm so confused. He really thinks he did something there. I don't know. But anyway, they get interrupted by the sound of footsteps and it's Matthew. He's like watching his kids all the time or something. I don't know, it's weird. Like I feel like teachers have more of a life than that. Like when they go home, I feel like they're like, okay, I'm not thinking about school. Like, well, and I guess that's not even true because you have to like grade papers and stuff. I don't know. No. I just feel like teachers aren't following their students around watching what they're doing. So anyway, the kids run away. Matthew finds the can of red paint and like looks at it, and then he looks at the kids running away and he's like, oh, you know, that Johnny, he's hanging out with Julie, he's a bad influence. Which like, I can understand the concern there if you think he's a bad influence, but like it just is weird that you only care about that, about Julie. And you will see this even more in this movie, but Julia is like the only student he cares about. And the fucking sun is coming out again. So I'm just gonna darken the tails on my brows here really quick. The next day in class, Matthew decides to like make an example out of Johnny again, because of course he does. He basically just lets them know like, I know that you were gonna do vandalism, scandalous.
In fact, it's real confining, isn't it? I mean, if you want to steal someone's car, it'll stop you. Deface or pollute the environment.
He literally just opened a can of paint and ran away. It's the worst vandalism I've ever heard of. He decides to like spook them and just like let them know like I was watching you, which is fucking weird. Why are you following teenagers around? We'll never know. I think it's probably that night or the next day. Everybody shows up to the Black Roses show at the little town center where they have the concerts. But I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting this. Like what in the REO Speedwagon am I looking at here?
What the hell is even that?
I want to say right up front right now, I have no issue with the music in this movie. I actually kind of liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. Yeah, I thought it was fine. It was good. It was very inconsistent. I will say that. Like sometimes they sounded like Journey. Like this first song, I was getting like Journey vibes or something. It was very tame. I was like, this is metal. And then later, you know, that changed a little bit. Yeah, the first song is very tame. And I think that that's on purpose because they know the parents are going to be at the show. These parents that like didn't want them there. So the band's trying to be like, look, we're chill. Like, we're not so bad.
We're not so different, you and I.
That's kind of what they're trying to give. I really want to get started with this eye. I'm trying to do like little smoky, but a little, I don't know, playful. We get to the concert, right? And, you know, everybody's having a good time. Party time. Excellent. I was trying to pay attention to the movie and everything that was happening or whatever, but I was so distracted by the heinous mullet wig that this guy is wearing. I could not focus on anything else. I'm surprised that he didn't just have a mullet at that time period. You know what I mean? Like, didn't everyone have mullets? Wasn't that like law in the 80s? Like you had to have a mullet or, you know, you were stoned to death in the town square. I don't know. But I couldn't take the fake mullet. It was terrible. I'm really trying to like sketch out a shape here with the eye. And I feel like it'll be easier to concentrate once the foundation is laid. Yeah, that's the shape that I want. That's what I'm going for. Kind of like, The parents go to the first Black Roses concert and they're kind of like, okay, you know, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. I guess we'll let them play here. So that's pretty much it with the first show. It's very tame. Like it appears that we had nothing to worry about, right? But obviously we're here, so we know that's not the case. The next day, Matthew's really butthurt because his students seem like way cooler and they don't care about poetry anymore. They're like, no, dude, like we don't give a shit. All we care about now is the Black Roses. And we want to talk about them. Like, we're sick of talking about these dead poets. Like, we don't care about them. We're kind of getting a little insight and maybe things aren't as they seem, you know? The kids changed pretty quickly, but teenagers also just are kind of wishy-washy, aren't they? They change their minds about everything. They like to be... They're still finding out who they are. But Matthew is like, he's not on board with this. He's like, you guys loved poetry yesterday. You can't do this to me. This looks a little crazy. I just gotta like soften. We gotta soften the edges here. Soften. Yeah, that's nice. Matthew goes to the principal to like cry about it and be like, they don't want to talk about any more like stanzas and stuff. All I could do in this scene, again, it was distracting because all I could focus on was, why was this filmed in front of like just a straight up green screen? Like, is this a straight up green screen? It's not a green screen. No, I'm so confused. It was very distracting. Matthew talks to our little principal. The principal's like not really that concerned about it because he's like, dude, kids hate poetry. Like, get over yourself. So he convinces Matthew, why don't you just go talk to the Black Roses and see like what's going on? So he does that. He goes over to the concert hall because I guess the Black Roses are playing like over and over again. Like they're playing like a couple of shows. I don't know why I said over and over again. They're playing like 4 shows or something. Matthew decides he's gonna go talk to their lead singer. It's this guy named Damien, and he wants to go talk to him and be like, you know, like what's going on? Why are the kids not wanting to talk about poetry? I know I'm really like leaning into this poetry thing, but I just thought it was funny because like kids don't give a shit about poetry for the most part. He goes to talk to Damien, who is no longer wearing the atrocious mullet wig, and I was so glad that they did not try to pass off this synthetic piece of shit fucking wig and say like, oh, this is his real hair. Like, I like that they're addressing the wig situation and that they're not passing this off as real hair because it's a travesty. So he goes and talks to Damien, and Damien kind of eases his mind. He's like, look, you know, we're not so bad. Everybody thinks that our music is like terrible, but we're really just trying to connect with our audience and like all this, you know, crap. And that's all fine and good, and it's important to the story, but what was more important to me was, why is Matthew carrying a glass of milk in this scene? I know I keep going off on tangents and being like, I was distracted by this. But there was a lot of that in this movie. Like, why does he couldn't get through this conversation without a source of vitamin D? At the concert hall, they just have a jug of 2% in the back and they offered it to him. They were like, oh, you know what? Hey, thanks for coming to talk to us. You need some milk, dude? You look like you need some calcium. Like, it was a full glass of milk while he's having this conversation. It just didn't seem like the time to be drinking milk. And I know I'm talking about this so passionately and it's stupid, and you can be like, Kale, like, what is wrong with you? Why are you worried about that? It doesn't even matter. It matters to me. The little things like this, that's the stuff that like, that's what I focus on. That's what I pay attention to is...
The man wants a glass of milk.
I don't know, maybe that's not that weird. Is that weird or am I weird? I don't know. One thing I know that is for sure weird is Matthew's relation with Julie over here. She shows up at the concert hall and all I could notice was how close they were standing together. She's like literally leaning up against him and I was like, don't stand so close to me. It's a little much. Hey, Jules, can you back up a little bit? Thanks. My personal bubble. I feel like teachers have that, don't they? Like, it's very like, don't touch me. Like, you stay over there, I stay over here. Like, it's meant to be very like, especially male teachers, I feel like they have to look out for stuff like that. And he is just very like willing to kind of cross boundaries with this student. Yeah, it was a lot. Anyway, meanwhile, we meet another character, Tony. He's not super relevant to the story, but he is for the next couple of minutes, so I'm gonna mention him. He's our little Italian stallion over here. He's like pumping some iron and listening to his Black Roses CD, you know how you do. Dad comes in to spoil the fun, turn off his record. He's gotta, you know, turn off that darn racket. And also he's gotta make fun of Tony's earring.
An earring? Only 2 kinds of men wear earrings. Pirates and pirates. I don't see no ship on our driveway.
It's not a phase, Dad. This is me now. I have an earring. Get into it. Dad turns off the Black Roses record that's playing, but then we get a very strange sequence of events, and I'm gonna rock right into this. I'm just gonna list them off. First, the record starts playing on its own, even after Papa Tony like turns off the record. It starts playing on its own. Then the record melts, but is still playing. Like, you can still hear the music even though it's like bubbling up and shit. Then this skeletal turd that was purchased at Spirit Halloween jumps out of the record and like attacks the dad. And then Dad gets sucked into the speaker and presumably dies. That is an interesting sequence of events, is it not? What is actually starting to happen in this film? I mean, I knew something was gonna be wacky, of course, but it was really goofy. The monsters in this movie, we'll really get into it, but the makeup and the monsters, we'll get into it. Let me get into this eye here. Yeah. We go to the next Black Roses concert, and it's a different vibe than the first one. We've got red lighting, we've got candles, we've got leather fringe. It's a lot more scandalous than the first show. It's a different vibe, different energy. Oh yeah, this one bitch even gets her face melted off by the pure like ecstasy of listening to the shredding of the guitar. Been there. It's pretty clear at this point that the music is doing something to these locals. You know, it's really getting them a little fucked up. It's getting them really violent and kind of horny. And it's like, I mean, you know what they say, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, baby. The locals are clearly affected by this crazy new sound. They're just so seduced by rock and roll. Our boy Matt over here, he decides that these new punks are bad for the town. He doesn't care about the conversation he had with Damien. He's like, no, fuck that guy. I'm gonna go straight to the top. I'm going to the mayor. So he goes to the mayor's house and he runs into the mayor's daughter. Her name's Priscilla, and she's also Matthew's ex, because small towns, you know, everybody knows everybody, dates everybody, all that. He's super inappropriate in this entire scene, you know, showing up at the mayor's house in the middle of the night, inappropriate. He's inappropriate with her daughter. But you know, isn't that kind of Matthew's thing, being inappropriate? Clearly. I mean, he's inappropriate with his students, he's inappropriate with his timing. He's just very like, everybody pay attention to me, and I don't like that. I don't like that about you, Matthew. I think you need to grow up a little bit. Anyway, Matthew shows up, he kind of gets in a little fight with Priscilla, you know, how you do with your ex. We've established that he's inappropriate, right? Well, she even calls him out on it.
I'm always interested in your little students. And their little books, and their little essays. Oh, and especially your little teacher's pet.
Leave Julie out of it.
We were all thinking it, girl.
I went out with you because when I met you, I said, there's a guy who's going to do something with his life. I didn't think it was going to be teaching a bunch of inbred morons the alphabet.
You lost me there. You lost me there. But the sentiment originally, yeah. So Priscilla's clearly a ray of sunshine, but she's not wrong about his relationship with Julie. It's extremely inappropriate. And we'll talk about it even more. Yeah, this is really pretty. Wow. It's like gold, but yellow, but white. It's like a pale yellowy gold. What a unique shade for a palette. I love it. Oh yeah. It's all coming together. Just want to bathe in shimmer. There we go. There she is. So talk about inappropriate. Get a load of this next scene. So obviously I'm throwing a lot of characters at you. It's because there's not really, apart from Matthew, he's the main focus, and then obviously Julie and Johnny we meet a little bit too, but there's also other random kids that are sprinkled in there to kind of show you what's going on in the town and like how the music is affecting the kids. So in this next scene, we get another kind of character that I haven't really mentioned. Her name's Janie. I know, confusing, Janie, Julie, they're not the same person. Janie's a little edgier than Julie. She's like a little bit more of like a bad girl or something. So she gets home from the Black Roses concert. She's, you know, all decked out in like her fucking fishnets and her scrunchie and all that shit. She's super psyched. She gets home with her friend Tina. Janie's dad is just kind of sitting up, hanging out, eating potato chips or something. The girls decide they want to hang out with Janie's dad because, you know, that's what teenagers do. They hang out with their parents. And they decide to stay up and play like cards with the dad, I guess. So this seems innocent enough, you know? You're like, okay, they're playing cards with her dad. Sure. I bet nothing nefarious will come of that. If you thought all of this so far was weird, what we're kind of going into, get a load of this hot garbage. So Janie and her friend, they're playing cards with the dad. Janie's like, you know, I'm tired. I'm going to tap out for the night. She goes upstairs and she just like leaves her friend with her dad, which... that's weird enough, right? Like, what teenager is like, okay, like, I'm gonna go to bed, you just hang out with my dad? I wouldn't have done that. I would have been like, bro, let's go into my room. Also, like, what teenager is like coming home from a concert and going straight, like playing a game of cards with their parents and then goes straight to bed? No. When I was a teenager, we were coming home, we were stealing the snacks out of the snack cupboard, hiding them under the bed, playing on our Blackberries. I don't know. We weren't doing this. We weren't doing whatever the hell these people are doing. It's weird. So that's all weird enough, right? With her leaving her friend alone with her dad. Well, get this. Janie goes to bed, and then Tina, the teenager, Tina, comes on to the dad. She's all like, ooh, let's play strip gin. And it's like, okay, but she's 16, which it's weird enough that she's like coming on to an adult as a teenager, right? That's weird. But as an adult, it's your responsibility to be like, gross. I don't do all that, girl. Like, gross. Well, that's not exactly how Janie's dad handles it. Yeah, he agrees to play strip gin with her. Huh? I was not a fan of that. I was like, I don't think I need that. Like, isn't this supposed to be about demon? What's with all the inappropriate relationship? Like, this movie's inappropriate. I sound like such a boomer, but like, there's so much of it that I was like clutching my Nancy Reagan pearls. Like, damn. Across town, Johnny, remember him? 37-year-old Johnny, we all know and love him. Our little faux vandalizer. So he is coming home from the Black Roses concert as well. He kind of goes into his room, lays down, like to go to sleep. And then you see this like vision of him getting seduced by like a woman or something. He walks out of his room and just straight up ices the dad.
What's the matter, son?
I love you, Dad.
God, what is happening around here? What is it going on? A lot of parent murder. Johnny kills his dad. That was definitely a little bit of a distraction from the minor that is hooking up with a parent, but you know, not a complete distraction. So if you were worried about that, about Tina and Billy from Overboard over here, don't worry too much because Tina kills him. So, but not before they're kind of like, they're in a compromising position. Like, I just didn't get why this was necessary for the movie. I think what they're trying to say with it is like that the kids are being seduced by this rock and roll, and it's like this evil entity that is also seducing the parents. I don't know. I really don't know, you guys. This was so gross to me. It was so disappointing. I didn't like it. I didn't like this part. But anyway, Tina kills Janie's dad, but we don't even see how he died. I mean, it's implied that she like bites his neck or something. I don't know. It's off screen. It's an off-screen death. So we don't really get to see the pervert die. Sorry, I'm just kind of blending out my contour here. Sorry. Sometimes it's really hard to talk and to just keep myself focused while I do these. I can't stop chewing on my tongue too. I need to like put something in my mouth. A grape Celsius. Not sponsored, but I wish. It's so weird because as a kid, grape was like down on the totem pole for me as far as flavors. Like, it was like my second to last pick. As an adult, I fucking love grape shit. Grape needs to be more celebrated, you know, grape flavored things. We need like justice for grape. Okay, we need to talk about Black Roses. I'm sorry. I think because I didn't like this one that much, I'm just getting distracted on other things. But I'm gonna finish talking about this fucking movie. The next day at school, the kids are, they're out of control.
I said I want you to write.
So yeah, things are getting a little rough around here. Matthew, he is totally bugging, but I think he's doing better than our old principal over here because he gets pushed out a window. Fucking Janie goes to like the principal's office because obviously her dad's dead, you know, he died, murdered last night by Tina while in a compromising position. Janie's in the principal's office kind of talking about it to the principal, and she asks him to open a window so she can scream.
Makes me feel like screaming. I'd like to open a window and scream at the top of my lungs.
Relatable. He goes to open the window and she just pushes him out the window.
Screaming in my therapy, in my work.
Okay. That very succinct, I know. She's definitely seen some better days. Janie, girl, you need some new moisturizer. And to not push people out windows, that part too. Well, Janie's over here pushing peeps out of windows. Julie, remember her, she's putting the moves on Matthew. He's in the library because, you know, teacher, and that's where they live, I think.
I like you. You're a nice girl.
I get that he's saying like, no, like you're just a kid. This isn't right. Like, no. But he's kind of pushing her away, but not completely shutting her down. You know what I mean? Like he's saying like, I know he said, I like you in a non-romantic way, but as a teacher, and so many people have already confronted you in this film, multiple people in this film saying that relationship's inappropriate. Like Johnny mentioned it earlier, Priscilla has mentioned it. Like it's been acknowledged that this is an inappropriate relationship. Shouldn't you be not telling her you like her? You know how she's gonna take that. She's an impressionable young girl. So anyway, I just feel like if you have a student who's saying like, who's like pushing themselves at you and you say, I like you, maybe don't do that. You know, just a thought. It just seems like, you know, that's gonna be misconstrued. Also, don't like keep engaging with the student. Like maybe just let things cool off. Let them go do their own thing for a while. It just feels like, yeah, he's saying no because that's like he has to. But it feels, I don't know, it feels weird. It feels like there should have been more of a line drawn there. I know I've been talking about it a lot in this video, but it's a really recurring thing in this movie and I could not ignore it, so sorry. Julie decides that the reason why Matthew is not like, oh, I'm in love with you too, rather than him being like an adult and a teacher, she decides that it's because of Priscilla. Remember his like ex-girlfriend, the mayor's daughter who like hates the kids. She decides it's all Priscilla's fault and she's gonna go after her. Like she's coming for her. So yikes, better watch out, Priscilla. So Julie goes home and kind of like prepares herself, you know, because she's gonna come after Priscilla. But before she does that, she's gotta make a little pit stop to pray to this weird shrine for Damien that she made, you know, the Black Roses lead singer. She made the shrine with like candles and everything, and it's been in front of a mirror. And when I say praying, I really mean tweaking her erect nipples and dancing and swaying back and forth to music for, I shit you not, like 3 straight minutes. Literally like 3 minutes of nipple tweaking, because apparently this movie had not hit their boob quota yet. So they had to, you know, they had to capitalize in on it and make sure that they showed some erect nipples. After all the, you know, nipple rubbing and swaying in front of candles, because I guess apparently this movie needed that, I think Fig wants to be a part of the video. You want to be in the video? He's gonna help me tell the story. So, look at how cute he is. Fig, I stole your, he's mad that I stole his look. He's like, that eye makeup looks dangerously close to mine. He's purring. I know he's squirming, but he's purring at the same time. So anyway, after all of the like nipple rubbing and, you know, whatever the hell Julie's doing over here, I don't know, she's losing it. She murders her stepdad. She murders her stepdad right after this. Clearly there's a pattern here going on. All the parents are getting, you know, yes, thank you, Fig. He really filled that in for me. All the parents are getting got. And you know what? Honestly, the stepdad thing, I was not upset that he was murdered. I'm going to be honest with you.
You really do know how to take care of your old stepdad, don't you?
He's a freaking perv. Bye. I did not mourn his death. Not even for a second. Matthew, while all this is going down with Julie, she's having a really interesting day. Matthew has decided that he has to save Julie. And it's not about all the students, it's about her primarily. He's like, I have to save Julie. And it's like, okay, like, why do you only care about her? It's just, this, see what I mean? Exactly, thank you, Fig. See what I mean? This is weird. Like, why does he only care about her? It's bizarre. It's a weird relationship for sure. I know I've said that about 500,000 times at this point. And yes, I know I came back and I had lashes on. The sun was out for so long and I was like, I have to keep going. And it's still kind of out, to be honest with you. I know this part of the video is probably gonna be a little bit brighter than the rest of it. I don't know how to plan around this. Back to the movie. Matthew has decided that he's the one who's gonna save Julie primarily, but Julie is kind of just like a magnet for these predatory men, is she not? Like Matthew and her stepdad, like, I don't know, I felt kind of bad for her, but don't feel too bad for her. Don't think of her as just a little victim here, because Miss Julie, she can take care of herself. She can hold her own. She tracks down Priscilla and she murders her as well.
You're one of Matt's little students. Oh, teacher's pet.
Bye, girl. I don't think Julie's gonna get a scholarship now, you know? Right after this, Mayor Guy gives Matthew a call to let him know about Priscilla because they found her car. Apparently it was caught on fire. So clearly Julie like set her car on fire after murdering her. And I thought this scene, I know it was supposed to be like really serious and like, you know, it's a very somber tone, it's very gray, but all I could notice was this like ceramic or porcelain cat sitting here. I loved it. I was like, oh, that's fun. It's like, that reminds me of Clover. But, you know, somebody died. Also, something I noticed about this scene that I wanted to bring up is like, when the mayor calls Matthew, he just like answers the phone and then just wordlessly hangs up on him and says nothing after this guy just told him his daughter was murdered.
She's dead. Car caught on fire. My little girl's dead.
He just like hangs up the phone. How rude. Like, that is not phone etiquette. That is so rude. Like, I don't think Walt Whitman taught you that, did he? Matthew gets a visitor right after this. His favorite little teacher's pet, Julie. And she's like, here's Julie and my boobs. And she just like throws herself at Matthew. And again, this was a part where like he says like, no, we can't, but he like kisses her back. There's one point where his arms are around her, I'm pretty sure, which is like, that is not the body language you give when you don't want someone to kiss you. And I know, like, no means no, yes, completely. But in this scenario, you would just think he'd be pushing her away and being like, hey, get off me, which he kind of does, but he kind of doesn't. He kind of like leans into it too. I thought that was really weird and bizarre. I just can't imagine showing up to your teacher's house and just like throwing your boobs at them and them not like immediately firmly pushing you away and like driving you home and being like, get away from me. Like, you need to, you know, seek help. I can't imagine. No, he does not do that. Kind of kisses her back. And I mean, it's like, he's saying no, but are you sure, bro? You sure you don't want to just do it? I don't know. It seems kind of like you do. It's a little too wishy-washy for something that should have a clear line drawn in the sand. Like, no. But anyway, don't worry about Jules over here. Remember, she can take care of herself. Remember Priscilla? Remember her stepdad? Well, now she's coming for Matthew. I'm laughing because she's become a Damon. Or something adjacent, because what the fuck is this? What is that? That's like a first draft ET. It's a big yikes. And Matthew has the right idea. He starts beating this demon with a tennis racket. I know that it's Julie, she's like the demon, but I had a hard time looking at this thing. I was like, what is even happening? The stock punch sound effects too really got me. Really brought me back to Intruder days. I need to get my lip liner and lipstick and stuff, so just bear with me. Because yeah, I'm already at lipstick. I know, in an unprecedented chain of events, I am gonna be finishing my makeup before the film and not have to do my lips and my wrap up. It's because of this fucking sun. I had to pause so many times, I actually got shit done. Shocking if true. Get my lips on. I guess the beating with the tennis racket, that doesn't kill this demon, but punching it like twice does. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure. Because Matthew punches the demon a couple of times and she's like down for the count. So I guess, you know, bye girl. I thought that was weird and inconsistent, but sure, why not? Why not? Take a crazy chance. Matt goes to the next Black Roses show. He shows up to the last Black Roses show to fuck some shit up, you know, and his suspicions are confirmed. It's a cult. It's like super culty. It's a super culty cult. It's like so culty. It's a cult, which creeps me out. Cults are like number 2 on my list. I do not like that shit. Ugh, that makes me nervous. Jonestown? That stuff freaks me out, man. I can't hang with that shit. Matthew shows up to fuck shit up, basically, at the last show. He comes in with a big old can of gasoline, and apparently Damien is so, like, focused on his followers that are, like, chanting his name and shit that he doesn't even notice Matthew just, like, walking up with a can of gasoline, like, right up to the stage. I guess you don't need security when you're a demon, but whatever.
Worship your master.
Get that man! Johnny.
Black Roses, the band, they're all demons. If you think Julie's demon makeup was bad, get a load of Damien over here. What the fuck is happening with this demon makeup? Can I just line my lips for a sec? What a good concealer lip shade. This is Iced Latte from Sephora Collection, one of the cream lip stains. That looks like concealer, and that's exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I wanted. Perf. Okay, we need to dissect this demon makeup on Damien over here. Why does it look so reptilian? Like, to me, this is giving, like, crocodile. It's giving alien. It's not what I think of when I think demon. When I think demon, I think, like, skeletal. I think bony. I think, like, weird. Yeah, weird teeth. They got the teeth thing right. Like, okay, the weird teeth, great, good on them. I just don't think crocodile alien guy, and that's what this is giving. Like, why are the arms so long and thick and clunky? They look like socks filled with sausages. I don't know. They just look wrong. He just looks wrong. It's not right. He just looks clunky and weird. Anyway, so Matthew and this alien demon king thing, they get into like a literal fist fight again with the stock punch sound effects that we all know and love. They get into a fist fight while these teenagers in the audience are like chanting. And it was just very chaotic. I was like, what am I watching at this point? I thought I knew what I was in for. I thought it was gonna be like a fun, like, demon movie. It's different for sure. It's very unique. I thought this was weird. Julie is just there. So she's still living. She's still alive. She's just like hanging out. Not a demon anymore, by the way. She doesn't look like E.T.'s cousin. Like, she's there. She's kind of like fawning over Damien because she, you know, needs a new man in her life, and it's got to be an inappropriate age difference for her. Like, what is she to do? So she's kind of all over Damien and his demon king shit. She's on that new demon king shit. Matthew he's like fighting or whatever with Damien, and then he kicks Damien right in the demon crotch and lights the stage on fire with a flare. Innovative. He came prepared. Maybe he's an earth sign. I don't really want to claim him, though. I don't want to claim Matthew. Ugh. By the way, just a side note, Demon Crotch, great band name. Like, what do you think, Black Roses? Should we change the name? Black Roses feels a little stale. It feels a little, like, dated. It's Demon Crotch now. You're welcome. Once the place is set on fire, this trance that the kids are under kind of, like, goes away, and they're all running for the hills. They're like, oh my god, what happened? Like, where are my parents? Girl, you killed them. Where have you been? You've been clocked out, honey. So they all kind of run out of there because the whole building is on fire now, and Matthew obviously picks up Julie because he doesn't care about any of the other kids. He's got to, like, save his child bride or whatever. So he picks her up and carries her out of the building because he has to be the savior. And luckily, though, the fire department and the mayor, for some reason, shows up and they save the other kids. So good that we had them, I guess. So that the other kids also get to survive, besides this one girl that her teacher has way too much time to think about. And meanwhile, while all this is going on, the demons are just kind of like vibing in the flames. Like, they don't care. This is where they live. This is where they're from. Kids are running out of the building like, Mom, can you pick me up? I'm scared. And the demons are all just vibing in the fire, like playing their music and like, woo! woo, like, you know, unbothered, thriving, moisturized, well, not moisturized, because Damien looks like he has a little eczema. They make weird noises, and why is this what I look like when my fiance kisses me goodbye in the morning and I'm half awake? In the end, the kids get saved. The town, I guess, is saved. And we cut to 6 months later while Matthew and the mayor are hanging out and they're watching the news, you know, because that's entertaining. And they see that the Black Roses are about to play Madison Square Garden. And they're talking about how excited they are for it. It's insinuating that, uh-oh, like, more parents are gonna get murdered. It's the devil's music. Ooh. And that's the end. It ends kind of, I don't want to say abruptly, but kind of. I mean, they were basically like, okay, well, they don't really give us a lot of conclusion on like what happens at Mill Basin, and like now all these kids are orphans and stuff. I don't know. So this was halfway there. The idea spoke to me. I liked the idea. This like riff on satanic panic in Podunk, Bumpkinville, USA, where it's like, oh, we gotta protect our kids. Evil rock and roll is coming to corrupt our youth. I like that idea because it kind of happened. I like that. I like the premise of it. And I thought I would really like this movie going in. I was like, this is gonna speak to me. Metal, demons, 80s. I figured it would be great. Wrong-o. It was not. It was not my fave. Too many inappropriate relationships. I especially could not get past Matthew and Julie. I know I talked about them for the majority of this video. That's because it was a huge focus in the movie. It was like so much of the movie was about them. I was like, are we supposed to be rooting for them? Like, I'm confused as a viewer. I'm confused. I'm confused. And I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to root for a teacher and a student to like get it on. I don't like that. I didn't love that. And you know, I know he pushed her away. He said this is wrong, but also he repeatedly sought her out. He didn't distance himself from her. He kind of kissed her back. He told her, I like you, knowing full well how she would interpret that, being that she had a huge crush on him or whatever. And he knew that, like he knew. I just felt like that whole plot line was wildly unnecessary for me. And it wasn't just them. It was also Tina and Janie's dad and Julie and her stepdad too. It was just a lot of inappropriate older male teenage girl relationships in this movie. And I did not respond to that. I thought it was fucking gross. I'm sorry. It was not necessary. The whole idea with like the band being demons and everything, like we could have explored that more. We didn't need to see this teenager rubbing her nipples and then like coming onto her stepdad. I was not into that. I don't need that. Thanks though. And the demon makeup and the special effects in general, whoop. That demon makeup was rough. That was a hit and run job. It looked like it came from beneath the sink. It looked microwaved at some parts. I was so perplexed by it. And I know what you're thinking, Kale, it was 1988. Like, give them a rest. No, because Night of the Demons came out the same year. And that demon makeup was very well done, especially for the time frame. And same year. So they have no excuse. And Night of the Demons, actually, as a side note, I might be doing next week. So, well, next week. So stay tuned. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for how alien these things looked. That was not a demon. That's not a demon. That's like a man in like a suit, some kind of reptilian suit. I don't even know. I'm so confused. Like, I don't understand. This one, yeah, I don't know. This one did not do it for me. I will say, I did kind of like the music. Is that jail? I don't know. I mean, I thought it was decent. I know it was inconsistent for sure. Like sometimes they sounded like Journey. Other times they sounded kind of like Whitesnake. Other times it was a little bit more like metal. And then it was a little more 80s hair band. So it really just, I don't know. It was inconsistent. I think the actual band that was playing is called King Cobra, and there may be some other songs from other artists too, which, you know, go look into that maybe. I don't know. The music was definitely not the worst part of this movie. It was decent. I wasn't mad at it. The wigs, the demon makeup, the inappropriate relationships, that's gonna give this a 2 pumpkin for me. I couldn't do this one really. Will I rewatch it? Probably not, honestly. I mean, I don't know. There were some funny moments with like the punching the demon and stuff. It could have used a lot more. This plotline needed some work. And definitely less nipple rubbing. Thank you. Did I rate this one too low? Does Black Roses deserve our respect? I mean, I respect it as a film. Will I watch it again? Probably not. It's not my fave, and I don't know that I would super recommend it, but I mean, I like the idea. I think the idea was good. It just, I don't know what the hell happened with this one, you guys. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my favorite, and I'm entitled to my own opinion. But let me know what you think down below. Give me some ideas. What do you guys want to see? Do you have any recommendations for B movies, especially from the 80s? That's like my favorite, obviously. This is another one, 1988. You know, what can I say? I'm nothing if not consistent. Let me know what you think down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching Beauty and B Movies with me, Pale Kale. Till next time. Actually, no, I should do one of these. No! Till next time, I'll see you later. Bye.